The Lakeview Party Line. The first rule of Lakeview is that the lake never gives up its secrets. It just borrows them, trading them for silt and silence. The morning after Liam's end-of-summer party, the lake was borrowing my sister. Chloe was missing. You could feel the void in the air, a champagne and bonfire-scented vacuum where her laughter should have been. Mom was calling the police. Dad was checking the perimeter, his face a concrete mask. I didn't wait. I walked to the shore. I knew Chloe. She was a competitive swimmer. She was popular and bubbly and sometimes, honestly, a little dumb. But she wasn't careless. Not with water. I found her near the rocky cove, a spot hidden from the main beach. Her blue party dress was snagged on a branch. Her hair fanned out in the shallow water like dark seaweed. The police ruled it an accident. A terrible, tragic accident, Detective Reese said, her eyes kind but firm. She was likely disoriented, slipped on the rocks, and fell. I didn't cry. I just nodded. And I knew it was a lie. The second rule of Lakeview is that everyone has three faces. The one they show the town, the one they show their friends, and the one they only show to themselves. I was searching for the third. While Mom was picking out caskets, I was in Chloe's room. It was a pastel pink shrine to her popularity. But under a loose floorboard, I found something that wasn't popular or pastel. A burner phone. I didn't know the password, but I knew who would. "Noah," I said, finding him in the library. He was pale, his eyes red-rimmed behind his glasses. He'd been our friend once, before high school, and popularity sorted us into different castes. "Maya, I'm so sorry. I need your help." I slid the phone across the table. He didn't ask questions. 20 minutes later, we were in. The phone was mostly empty, except for one thread. Unknown. Stop. You'll ruin everything. Unknown. Stay quiet, or I'll make you. The last one was from the night of the party, 11:02 p.m., about an hour before her estimated time of death. Who was she arguing with? Noah whispered. Everyone. Which was true. The police were focused on Liam. He and Chloe had a spectacular, movie-level fight on the dock. Witnesses, and there were many, said she'd thrown her drink in his face. She was acting crazy, he told Detective Reese, his golden boy image cracking. Texting someone all night, wouldn't tell me who. I walked off. I needed air. I walked the trails for an hour. A convenient, unverifiable alibi. Then there was Sadie, Chloe's best friend. I found her grieving in the cafeteria, holding court. She was wearing Chloe's silver tennis bracelet. "She gave it to me," she said, "last week. Said she wanted me to have it." A lie. It was Chloe's 16th birthday present. She never took it off. The burner phone was a dead end, but Chloe's real phone, which the police had returned, held the next piece. Noah, now my official partner in crime, found a ghost app. It led to a cloud folder. It was full of test papers, finals, midterms, AP physics. "This is," Noah breathed. "A business," I said. Chloe and Sadie weren't just popular. They were entrepreneurs. They were running a high-stakes cheating ring, selling copies of tests to half the junior class, including Liam. "The texts," Noah said, his fingers flying over his laptop. "Stop. You'll ruin everything." Chloe must have wanted out. She was going to confess. This gave Sadie, whose entire future depended on her valedictorian status and clean record, a powerful motive. It gave Liam, whose sports scholarships were pinned on his grades, a motive. "I need to trace that burner text," Noah said, his jaw set. "I think I can do it." The third rule of Lakeview is that the truth always surfaces. Usually, it's the last thing you want to see. Noah called me 2 days later. "I got it," he said, his voice tense. "The texts. I cross-referenced the burner's pings with local network data from the night of the party. It's... Maya, the texts were sent from a router registered to Sadie's house." Detective Reese was reluctant to listen to 2 teenagers, but the evidence was strong. We went to Sadie's house. The moment she saw us on her doorstep, her perfect mask shattered. She confessed in her pristine, all-white living room. "She was going to tell," Sadie sobbed, her face pale and blotchy. "It would ruin me, my scholarships, my future, all gone because she suddenly grew a conscience." "What happened at the lake?" Reese asked, her voice soft. "We met after her fight with Liam. I begged her. She wouldn't listen. She laughed at me, called me pathetic." Sadie's breath hitched. I just pushed her. I just wanted her to shut up." She tripped. She fell back and hit her head on the rocks. Sadie looked up, her eyes wide and haunted. "She wasn't moving. I panicked. I just ran. I thought she just hit her head. I didn't know she fell in the water. I swear I didn't know she was dead." The case was closed. Sadie was arrested. The town had its villain. I had nothing. Just a hollow, echoing space where my sister used to be. The final rule of Lakeview is that you can't trust the rules. A week later, I was packing up Chloe's room. I picked up the burner phone, its screen dark. I was about to put it in a box when Noah knocked. "Hey," he said, standing in the doorway. "Just checking on you." "I'm fine," I lied. I held the phone. Something had been bothering me. A single sent text. At 11:45 p.m., after Sadie had already run. "Cove. Now. I'm telling you first. It's over." It was to the same unknown number. She was meeting someone else, someone after Sadie. "Noah," I said, my voice flat. "The texts you found, the threatening ones, they were spoofed to look like they came from Sadie's house." Noah wasn't breathing. "They came from another device on the same local network at the party. A laptop. Your laptop." The silence in the room was deafening. "She texted you to meet her. After Sadie left her bleeding on the rocks. Chloe was still alive when you got there." His eyes flicked to my pocket, where my own phone was running a voice memo. "She laughed at you, too, didn't she? Just like she laughed at Sadie. And you couldn't stand it." For the first time, the mask slipped. Not rage, something colder. Resignation. "She was already hurt," he said, so quietly I almost missed it. "Head wound, blood in the water." She looked up at me and said, "It's over, Noah. The cheating, us, all of it." Like I was nothing, like I'd always been nothing. He took a step closer. I only pushed her the rest of the way in. The lake did the rest. I backed up until the wall hit my shoulders. He saw my hand move toward my pocket and understood. We both lunged. I made it out of the room, down the stairs, into the street. He had the burner phone. I had 37 seconds of crystal clear confession sinking to my cloud drive. I didn't go to the police station. I went straight to Detective Reese's house at 10 p.m. and played it on her porch. She listened without blinking. When it finished, she said only, "Stay here," got in her car and left. They found Noah 2 hours later trying to cross the lake in a stolen kayak. He didn't fight when they pulled him out, just stared at the black water like it might still keep his secret. Sadie's charge was reduced to aggravated assault and fleeing the scene. She'll be out before college applications are due. I went back to the cove one last time in November. The water was iron gray and still. Liam was there, skipping rocks, not saying much. We'd both lost the people we thought we knew. "Think the lake's done with us?" he asked. "No," I said, "but maybe we're done with it."
The Lakeview party line.
I dropped Chloe's silver bracelet into the water and watched it sink. The lake keeps what it wants. That day, for once, I decided what it got.